Virtual sales calls are here and they are here to stay. Unfortunately, they didn't come with a playbook on how to actually make them as impactful as a live in-person meeting. Well, at least not until this video. Hey everybody, I'm Jeff, and I'm about to share with you the 7 easiest ways to ensure that your next virtual sales call has the same level of impact as if you were sitting right next to your customer. Hey everybody, I'm Jeff, and we're a long way from COVID. And so the idea that we're going to conduct a virtual sales call as if it was during COVID is fairly laughable, and yet so many of us in our industry still do that. I can't, even as a buyer, the number of sales calls that I go on where I am subjected to lousy virtual sales calls is pretty extraordinary. Good news, there are some things that we can do right away that aren't very difficult to do that can change how these calls are consumed by our customers that will have a huge impact on your success rate. And let's go through them. I got 7 teed up for us. Here's number 1, master all the applications. Not everybody uses Zoom, not everybody uses Teams, not everybody uses Google Hangouts, etc., etc., etc. As a sales professional, you have to be adept at all of them. Why? Because when things get hinky or weird, technical-wise, everyone's going to look at you, the host, to fix it. And your customer is only good at the one that they use at work. So what does that mean? It means find out before the meeting what they use. That's what I like to do. You guys use Teams, you guys use Zoom. I don't just send out mine. I have a subscription to all of them. As a sales professional, you should. So make sure you master all of those applications. It's not a small step. It's an important step. Number 2. If you are working from a home office, and frankly, even if you're working from an actual back to work office, you should have a dedicated space for virtual sales calls at this stage. A dedicated space. I do at home, and I do at my studio where we do our filming. A dedicated space. And even if you have a background, a virtual background. Virtual backgrounds are weak, so I don't recommend them highly. But you can use them. But even if you do, you need to have a dedicated space for the following reasons. You need to have proper lighting, which is generally completely overlooked by salespeople. Fluorescent lighting is terrible. You need the correct lighting. You need a microphone that's far stronger and a camera that's far stronger than the ones that are embedded in your MacBook. You need to make those investments. And here's another one. You need a monitor that's specifically dedicated for your sales calls, and I'll tell you why. When you're sitting at your desktop or using a monitor, look at my monitor here on this table. I'm only about, 1.5 feet from the screen. Where in life are you having a meeting 1.5 feet from someone? Answer, nowhere. So I prefer a 27+ inch monitor that's 3 to 4 feet away from me. So when I sit at my desk, it actually replicates how far away I am from my customer, and the size of their head is kind of like this on the screen is kind of like the size of their head in real life. And that really does a lot to replicate the realness of a call, and it tricks the brain. So have a dedicated space where you can do all these things. Number 3, close for video when you close for the call. Would you like to do an in-person meeting or a virtual meeting, says you? Customer says, a virtual meeting's fine. The next words out of your mouth have to be this. Will there be any circumstances, Joe, that you would not be able to be on camera? Because I would like to have this meeting on camera. Say it like that before the meeting, and you will have 100% subscription. Don't say that sentence and you'll have what you have now, which is about 30% of your customers have a blank screen. You talking on camera to someone on a blank screen gives you very low social value, very low. And if you think you're going to then, I'll just go off screen. Now this is becoming a ridiculous game. A virtual sales call, underline the word virtual. This is going to replicate a sales call. We don't have sales calls in person where people are blindfolded. We don't have a meeting at a customer's office where we go to separate rooms and dial into a conference bridge. If the customer says, I don't want to be on camera, then have a conference call. That's what I say. Oh, you know what? I don't really like being on camera, which is their right. I say, got it, Joe. Let's set up a conference bridge. We'll do a phone call like the old days. You control this. It's your meeting. You make this change, you'll never have this problem again. Your social value will be nice and high. Number 4. To enforce number 3, when you send the invite out, remove all phone numbers from your invite. It defaults, whether it's Zoom or Teams or whatever, the whole default will have this long legal stuff and all these links, and it'll have the dial-in bridges. Cut them out, delete them. So the only thing in that invite is the link. So if they change their mind, they can't do anything. They have to actually log in. There's no just dial-in ability. So that's important too. Number 5, you're gonna love this. Shut off the self-view. Tell me when you go to a meeting where you sit at your respective seat and there's a mirror in front of you. Exactly. And yet, we have a Zoom panel, 4 people, one of them's us. Guess what you're looking at? Yourself. You can't help it. You've heard me say this in other videos. Everyone's got a comic book in their head, their own comic book series. And they're the hero of their own comic book, and that's the only comic book they want to read. You can't help it. I can't help it either. You put a mirror in front of me, I'm going to look at myself. Shut it off. You are not going to believe the difference in your attentiveness and presence when the only thing you have to look at is them. You're going to pick up on all those nonverbal cues. You're going to see he's paying attention. You're going to see when they like something. You're going to see when they don't like something. You're going to see when they're confused. You're going to see when they're enlightened. You're going to see when they're bored. Things you will always miss on Zoom beforehand because you're looking at yourself. Here's something else. You'll stop interrupting them. Because when you're only looking at them, there are so much interruptions that happen on these virtual calls because of the self-view. People have a pause in their sentence and then they're overrun by the rep. Shut off that self-view. Number 6, ask for permission to record if you want to record it. And if you ask for permission to record, tell them why. And don't be put off if they say no. If you want to record it to Zoom or to a Gong type application, cool. If you're doing it for purposes of you want to capture the meeting, that's fine. Just be honest. If you are being recorded because your manager wants to hear you do sales calls, I'd rather you say that. I'm a big believer in being impeccably honest with customers. I'd rather you say, Joe, by the way, my boss requires me to record all of my sales calls for him to inspect and give me coaching unless the prospect rejects it. Is it okay with you if I record this for my boss's ears and eyes only? That's the way we do. That's what we do. But whatever the reason, make sure you ask permission. And number 7, final one. Start on time, end on time. I don't care how many people are on the call. Start on time, end on time. That's also true, by the way, for live in-person meetings, but absolutely true for the Zoom calls. The call is at 2 o'clock. I'm logging in at 1:59. And if I'm the host, I am not letting anyone in until exactly 2. And then everybody's coming in, I'm letting everybody in, but at 2 o'clock, I'm starting the meeting. Now, I did a video on the channel not long ago about things you should do prior to any meeting, link in the description. One of the things I talk about is prepping for questions to make them talk about their comic book. So I've got questions to start the meeting with that won't hurt me if power shows up later to the meeting. They're not frivolous questions, but they're not in the meat of the meeting. So it's okay for me to start at 2 o'clock. If the boss shows up at 2:06, boss isn't gonna miss anything. But I wanna start at 2. I'm not starting, let's wait for everyone so we can hang out and do small talk. These are exhausting, these virtual meetings. So I'm going to start right on time, and there's no chance I go over. No chance I go over. I never go over on a meeting. That is a sales cardinal rule. When you check it out in the description, talk about self-confidence in some videos. If you want to demonstrate high levels of self-confidence, you end on time. You end on time because you are busy. And if the customer says, hey, can we go over? You say, I apologize, I can't. I'm stacked at least for the next 3 hours with other sales calls. But if you like, we can pick up where we left off at 5 o'clock today, Joe. Are you free at 5 today? Just schedule the follow-up or the going over part later in the day. It's so much more powerful. And there you go. Look how easy those 7 steps are. You can get these 7 steps done in 15 minutes, and all of a sudden, you're a ninja warrior when it comes to your next virtual call. So try it. Try it and share it with us. Is it working? Let us know where it worked. Let us know where it didn't work. And I bet you have some of your own. I bet you have some hacks that you like to do that make your virtual calls better than the average bear. And put in the comments, because I'm in there all the time and I like to learn. I've been doing this so long because I haven't stopped learning from others. So share with everybody. Love to see it. We'll see you at the next video. Happy selling, everybody.